Hey guys, Dan Velasquez here with another edition of the Heavens Declared channel. I want to welcome you today to my channel. Today's date is August 7th, 2025. And if you have not hit the subscribe button, please hit that subscribe button so you can get all the alerts when I put out a new video. And also share these videos so we can get more people aware as to what is happening in these end times. Now today I'm not going to focus so much on the heavenly signs, even though there are some heavenly signs out there. There's this big giant 7-mile thing coming at us from outer space, so the astronomers tell us. I think it's called Three-Eye Atlas or something like that, and it's entering our solar system at a really exaggerated fast rate, and it's on the same plane as all the planets are, and so they're really looking at this. And what I found interesting about it is that they're saying, oh, this could be possibly an alien ship, or it could be something alien probe or something coming our way, and that could possibly invade us. Okay, and so what I thought about when I heard that immediately was, yeah, they're probably setting us up for an explanation of the rapture, okay, which they're going to say is an alien invasion. They're going to say that. When millions of people disappear off the planet, okay, they have to offer an explanation to this. And so they've said this thing should arrive by October, which is right after Rosh Hashanah. Just saying. Keep that in mind. The timing of that release of this information out is very telling to me, okay, where we are. So, I wanted to talk to you, though, today about the seals of Revelation, because a lot of people have gotten this wrong. Traditionally, when you look at the seals, trumpets, and bowls in Revelation, it has been interpreted as all happening during the tribulation, sort of like this. The 7-year tribulation includes the 7 seals, 7 trumpets, and 7 bowls, and then at the end of that, at the bowls here is the return of Christ. Okay, what actually seems to be happening is more like this, where the 7 seals over here are the beginning of sorrows, and then when the tribulation hits right here, the trumpets and the bowls are released, and that is your tribulation period right here, ending in the return of Christ. Now, why is this important to understand, that these seals are opening or have been opening for a while? It's important because if you don't know that the seals have been opening, you'll get blindsided, as so many Christians and believers are, thinking that we are not even in the end days. I don't know how you could possibly come to that conclusion unless you're like really have your head buried in the sand. But most people are not tracking this, and so they don't know where they are along the seals. Okay, so I'm going to read to you real briefly. I'm going to go through the 7 seals really fast. And so the first seal is the white horse. Okay, Revelation 6. This is all in Revelation 6. Revelation verse 6:2. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Okay, traditionally that's been understood as the Antichrist coming to conquer the world. Okay. Number 2, the second seal. There went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat on it to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Okay, so that's understood. The red horse is war. Okay, and then he opened the third seal, and I heard the third beast say, Come and see, and beheld a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And he heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts saying, a measure of wheat for a penny, 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Okay, the fourth, and that's traditionally been seen as economic distress. Okay, and I looked, and the fourth seal, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto him over a fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, with hunger, with death, and with the beast of the earth. And then when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw the altar of the souls of them that were slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell upon the earth? Okay? And robes were given unto them, and it was said unto them that they should rest for a little season, until their fellow servants and their brethren, that they should be killed as they were, should be fulfilled. Now here's what I want to get to, the sixth seal, because the sixth seal, okay, is the rapture. Now a lot of people have missed this, okay. I missed this for a long time. I did not understand this, okay. The sixth, listen very carefully to what the sixth seal is, okay. This is Revelation 6 verse 12. And beheld, when he had opened the sixth seal, lo, there was a great earthquake. The sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. The stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casts her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island was moved out of their places. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every freeman hid themselves in the dens of the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, Fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Okay, that is the sixth seal. So, if the sixth seal is the rapture, and I'll explain why this is the rapture, okay, where are we? Okay, so let's take a look at the fourth seal, okay, because I really believe this fourth seal started opening right after COVID, okay, and the fourth seal was, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power is given to him over a fourth part of the earth. That's clue. A fourth part of the earth is experiencing this, not the whole earth. And this is what throws so many people out, especially here in the West. You know, we see the fourth part of the earth is having all these things here, but it's not being reported in the West. Okay, in the North America, Canada, United States, even South America, they don't report as much of what's happening on that part of the world, Middle East, okay? It's just not reported on, okay? So we sit here thinking these things aren't happening when in fact they are. But a simple Google search of each of these items listed will tell you that these things are happening right now. So let's see what the fourth seal was, okay? And power is given unto him over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword. Okay? So, I looked this up. There's 195 total countries in the world. Out of those, 56 are in conflict or in war. That is 28% of the world's population is at war. A fourth. Check. The next one. To kill with hunger. Okay? It's been reported online that 35% of the world's population cannot afford a healthy diet. That means they're going hungry, or they're severely malnourished because of poverty, lack of food, lack of resources, whatever the excuse is, they cannot eat a good meal and are going hungry. That's 35%. That's more than a quarter. Check. What's the next one? With death. Okay. Since 1962, the worldwide death rate has gone up every year, spiking in 2021 because of COVID. But it's still going up even after that dip came down. It's still rising up, and continues to rise up, is projected to rise up until 2030 and 40. Continues to go up. Check. Okay? And with the beasts of the earth. So the beasts of the earth. I looked this up also as well. And over the last 50 years, animal attacks have been slowly going up. Okay? And it's getting to a point that it's becoming a fever pitch now. You hear on the news all the time, people getting attacked by alligators, people getting attacked by sharks, by wildcats, by different things, bears, coyotes, wolves, bison attacks, even cows and deer. Have attacked humans. Amazingly, the most dangerous of all these animals have been mosquitoes. Over 725,000 people every year are killed by mosquito-borne diseases. Okay? Animal attacks. Check. Okay? The fifth seal is martyrdom. Okay? Now, you could do your own study on this. But Christian martyrdom specifically, which is what this is talking about, has been going up yearly, in every single year. It's estimated now that 100,000 Christians are martyred every year for their faith. Check. Okay. So if all of these things are happening, and up to the fifth seal, and the rapture is in the sixth seal, how much time do we have left? Okay. How much time do we have left? I say very little. Okay? When you look at all the information that's out there, okay, and you look at 2033 as the end of the 2,000 years since Christ's death, if you just roll back 7 years behind there, you're talking 25, 26 for a pre-rapture date. Okay? For a pre-tribulation rapture date. Okay? So all these things are happening. Okay? The other thing that people have mentioned to me in the past, and I actually had a pastor mention this to me one time, and he said, well, you know, the end times are not here. We don't really see the end times here because we haven't seen the rebuilding of the temple. Okay. Again, that's wrong. That's just bad. Okay. Why is that bad? Because you're not going to see a temple until the tribulation starts. And so if you're waiting for that, you're going to be side blinded. Okay. If you think, oh, we got time. Okay. We haven't seen a temple. That's going to happen during the tribulation. And the reason I come up with that is because the other day I just felt the Lord led me to read the book of Ezra, which it's not a normal book that I normally read. I'm normally in other prophetic books, you know, trying to figure some of this stuff out. But I was led to the book of Ezra, and I didn't really know why, but now I know after reading it. So the book of Ezra really starts the beginning of Daniel's 70th week prophecy. So when the angel came to Daniel, there was these 70 weeks. Each week is 7 years. And it started with the decree of the king of Persia sending the Israelites back into Jerusalem. Okay? That was the first week, the first 7 years. Okay? And that decree was given around the month of Nisan, okay, which is March, April, around Passover time. Okay, and the children of Israel, when you read in Ezra, got back during Tishri, because we know this is because it says it was the 7th month. Okay, and 7th month in the Jewish calendar is the month of September, and it specifically said there that the foundations of the temple had not been built yet. So the people were giving praise, but the foundation of the temple had not been being built yet. So they decided to start the foundations and the wall and to rebuild the city and the temple But when they started rebuilding the temple, the surrounding nations and tribes said, hey, this cannot happen. And they sent a letter to the king to try to get the Jews to stop the rebuilding of their temple, calling them a rebellious people. And this idea of rebuilding a temple would be a really bad idea for the surrounding nations, you know. The, you know, the, and they're probably thinking, the first time they built their temple, they try to conquer the land of Canaan, and there was multiple wars, and so they see this as a threat. And because of that letter, and because of the tribes and countries coming around them, this was stalled for at least another 2 years. You can read it in the book of Ezra. I'm not going to get into it now. So if you're thinking you're going to see this temple, you're not. Okay? What we're looking at right now is what's just like in the beginning, a decree was started for the first week of Daniel. The 70th week of Daniel, the final week, is also going to start by a decree. And that's the covenant with the many. Okay? And that, I believe, is happening right now. Okay? There's 193 countries, I think, that are in the United Nations out of the 195 countries around the world. And a vast majority of them, 147 plus, have endorsed a Palestinian state. Now, why is this so important? Because this is a way to stick it to Israel, and once you have this in place, you can better believe that the days of Jacob's trouble will begin. Okay? Now all the countries will feel they have the right to impose sanctions, boycott Israel. You could even see something of the effect of nations trying to send troops over to force the hand of Israel, and have a fighting force against them. All these things can happen, right? So this is where we're at. We are right there for this to happen. So if you're seeing this and you are not a believer, today's the day of salvation. Okay? I wouldn't put this down I wouldn't delay this another day, really. The way these things are happening, you don't want to come to the point where